We had to get another Bama Russian.
We're just giving the people what they want.
Yeah, now I got a deep dive in that.
I know. I love a happy ending. Welcome back to the Cypress Room, where we dive deep on influencing with integrity. This is a podcast for creators, and I'm Meggie Honeycutt.
And I'm Christina Mascari, and today we are going to talk about all things like our favorite content that we're just binging and loving and consuming right now, because we're coming off of two really hot things
I know.
in social media. And we have so many new people in our lives now because we're coming off the Olympics in Paris. Yes. And it's our favorite time of the year that we shared with you guys last year. Bama Rush is going on. Well, actually, Rush across the country is going on.
Really? Yeah.
Which we're going to dive into a little deeper, because with the success of Bama Rush Talk, which is probably on its like third or fourth year, don't you think?
Yeah.
All the other universities are starting to catch on, which I kind of like, because there's a little bit more of like a human element, I think, to it this year. And you're getting to see what it's like to be in a sorority across the country. And it's very different.
They're showing the diversity is more apparent now.
From school to school.
Yes.
And we're getting more people going through Rush. We're getting more people who like are in a sorority and taught and giving advice on like how you can go through it. And we still got our supportive mamas out there just showing up in these girls' comments being like, you got this, and just like mothering them and being so sweet. So we have so much content we want to talk about today. I think we're probably going to start with the Olympics.
Yes.
Then go into Bama Rush and just Rush in general, sorority Rush. And we'll tell you what sorority Rush is if you don't know what it is. We highly recommend going and watching our Bama Rush episode from last year, don't you think?
Yes.
That was a fun one.
That'll give you a good base.
That'll give you a good base for like sorority life and what that means. Because I don't think we're going to go as deep into that today. And then we just picked a couple of like content creators that we've been binging ourselves that we want to share with you guys.
Yes.
And so this is going to be a fun one. Just all about like
fun things that we're enjoying as we scroll.
Yeah, because it's not all about, I don't know, it's not all about business sometimes. Like we have to remember at the core of like, well, why am I a content creator? Why do we like talking about content? It's because we like to consume it as well. And the Olympics, and I think the insight that it's given us into these athletes. Like we used to just be fed, you know, the polished whatever package that NBC would put together for us. But now these athletes are really in control of their narrative, and they get to really share more of their personality, and they get to go out and make deals like on their own. So
I know. And they get to connect with their fans in a more personal way. I mean, obviously it's not personal, it's via social media. But they get to create connection with their audience, and people get really invested in them as people because they feel so connected to them. So do you want to start? Like,
yes, because I have one that I am so invested in right now. They're a couple, and she is a track athlete and he is actually a Paralympic athlete. So he's going to be competing in Paris at the end of August when they have the Paralympics. But she is a long jumper. Her name is Tara Hall Woodall. They are married now. And so how I found them is they came across my feed. She actually won the gold medal in the long jump. And they spliced this video together of him like watching her, encouraging her, cheering her on, and then being able to celebrate with her at the end.
Good job, baby! Let it rip! Let it rip! For one jump, I just want you to think about everything you've been through. Yeah! 710! 710! Oh my God! Come on! Let's go, baby! Put it out there. Come on. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Baby, you're the Olympic champion. You're the Olympic champion. Oh my God, you did it. Yeah! 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 You're the Olympic champion! It can be easy. I'm so proud of you. Oh my God, baby, you're the Olympic champion! Let's go!
I mean, it has hundreds of millions of views. Yeah. And the cool thing is that they have an account together. She has a separate account, and then he has a separate account. And so I have deep dived all 3 of those accounts. I have learned their story of how they met. They met like in high school at a track meet. And when she first met him, she saw him warming up and she's like, oh, he's really cute. And she's like, I didn't even know he didn't have legs. And like the way they encourage each other is so sweet. And they're already doing like tons of brand deals. They're both Lululemon ambassadors.
Yeah.
But just like he is crying, cheering his wife on. And then he's like, babe, you're the Olympic champion. Like, we're definitely going to play that clip for you, because if you haven't seen it, you need to be introduced to them. But they are like some of my favorites. And now I get to follow him on his journey when he goes to the Paralympics at the end of August.
I know. What I loved about them is, first of all, they have the sweetest relationship. But then I went back and it was like, they were already kind of content creators. Yeah. I just didn't get to hear about them. Yeah. They never came across my feed. They create such fun, engaging, encouraging, uplifting, sweet content.
And funny too. And they're both very funny. Yeah.
Like I don't know, they just have that it factor, I feel like, together and separately, which is really fun and unique. And I have a hometown connection because Tara actually got hired at my alma mater as
an assistant track coach, right?
Yeah, she's an assistant track and field coach
at Kansas State,
which is where I went to school. So
she texted me last night. I was like, I already knew that. I've totally invested in their lives and their relationship. They have a YouTube channel too.
Do they?
Did you know that? Yeah, they have a YouTube channel.
We should reach out to them for an interview.
We should. That's big goals right there.
I know.
Because they're probably not
now they've blown up. So,
but that is true. They were already like creating content, and now that they've become even more viral with this one, reel that is going around. And I love that it's one that they did together. It's like their story together. And oh my gosh, they're just like such an inspiration. And she is freaking gorgeous.
Yeah. They both they're like a gorgeous, gorgeous couple. Yeah.
And that like just transitions into I just have like the track ladies down here. Gabby Thomas, who I think she won 3 medals. She won the 200. She won the golden 200 and she won other ones. I can't keep track of how much they won, but not only is she a track star and now she's an Olympic champion, gold medalist. She went to Harvard. She has her master's. She they're just like supermodels. And Sydney McLaughlin is another one, and I'd love her. She is like so open about her faith and has been sharing that. And so just like the stories behind these women, and they all have like 1 million followers on Instagram.
I know. It's incredible. Really. I feel like I was missing out all this time, not even knowing who they were, but the Olympics really kind of elevated them and gave them a lot more visibility. And so I'm excited about following all these new people because it's just so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who's next? I personally, gymnastics is always my favorite at the Olympics. And so since the trials, I was actually following the girls on the Olympic team and the ones who were trying out. And I was looking, they do a lot of get ready with me's, a lot of behind the scenes in their training, and what else? They were all doing TikTok dances and the viral sounds with their medals. And
that was the really funniest thing to me. Like, I showed that clip to my husband because after they won the team gold medal, like Suni and Simone, like they captured them being like, which one do you want to do? Oh, I want to do the one where I like bite the gold medal and it's the cookie sound. And she's like, I want to do the one like, what would we do if I didn't win? I guess we'll never know. Like, they were sitting there as soon as they won their gold medals discussing what TikToks they wanted to put out.
I know,
celebrating it. I'm like, wow, this is crazy.
Everybody wants to know what I would do if I didn't win. I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, it's so much fun. So I love the girls' gymnastics, but then men's gymnastics. Yeah. The pommel horse guy, Steven, I don't know how you say his last name.
But everybody's going to know. The guy with the glasses.
Oh my gosh.
On the pommel horse.
I don't know that I saw any content that he directly created, but there was tons of content about other people did about him. Apparently he is a Rubik's Cube genius and some kind of video game savant. Like, he's super good in the top 1% of like this one game. And like, all these memes, and I just thought it was like the coolest story that someone like that who had one thing that he had to do had this like dream moment. Yeah. And then he gets to now just like ride the wave.
It'll be interesting to see if he does like lean into content and the things that he loves and does besides, because this is like this one specialty thing that he does. So there's probably like many facets to who he is. So I wonder if he'll like capitalize and
I hope
start creating content.
I mean, what an opportunity he's been handed.
Yeah. I got to pause talking about all these people because my favorite TikToks that I started watching at the start of the games all had to do with the swag that they were getting. Did you watch any of those?
Yes, I did, because I was fascinated that Skims was a apparel sponsor of the Olympics. And
super smart though, because do you know how many impressions they got with people unpacking the Skims?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So it was Skims, Nike, and Polo, I think, were the three major brands. And so when they would go into the village and be in their room, these are all like smaller athletes that we probably don't even know their names or whatever. And so I love that they showed us their rooms, like they showed us their cardboard beds that they have. And then they unpacked all the swag, and it was like my favorite thing because there were some really beautiful pieces. I'm like, this is so cool that they get all this stuff. And they were like so excited about it, and just the bags were beautiful, and the Skim stuff was really cute. Honestly,
was very cute.
I was like, can we get some of that? I like wanted some of their swag really bad. So I loved them sharing that, and just thinking about, you know, the Olympics has always been a big thing for brands and sponsorships, but you're really like only getting commercials or whatever. And so with the apparel, I'm like, this is huge. They got so many impressions by people sharing that, and everybody loves a good haul. I was invested in every single one of them, even though everybody was getting the same thing and I was seeing it over and over again, but I love seeing people's reaction to it and what pieces they liked the best. And some of them did try-ons and stuff. I was like, this is fun. This is like my favorite part.
I know. And you want to know about unintentional brand placement is like, they panned in gymnastics to Suni Lee applying her lips, like, and everyone wanted to know.
And she did a TikTok
on
that.
Her lip combo, and she did a TikTok on that. And I swear the Makeup Forever pencil that she uses and the Rhode peptide lip treatment probably sold out.
They probably did.
Probably better than any commercial
beautiful lips too.
They could have ever paid for.
Yeah, that's true.
All she did was sit like in an off time.
Oh,
and
Suni, I hope you
lips.
get some sponsorships from them because you deserve them. That would be awesome.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
And I bet they got so much business.
Yeah.
Because she looked so cute.
Yeah.
So anyways, had to mention that too.
Well, I have to, since we're talking about gymnastics, it's just like the best thing. The funniest one I saw of Simone Biles, it wasn't one she created, but somebody else created it off of like the camera work at I think it was at the individual events, or maybe it was at the all around for them. But she was like talking to one of her teammates and she's like mouthing, Gabrielle Union is here. She's here. Gabrielle Union's here. She's up there. And like then whoever made the TikTok like superimposed Gabrielle Union in the stands. And if y'all don't know who she is, Bring It On. Hello.
I know.
One of the greatest movies of all time, the cheer captain from Bring It On. Plus she's married to Dwayne Wade. I'm sure people know her that way too. Yeah. But I just thought that was so cute. It's so cute to see like the human side of like Simone Biles because she's the GOAT. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows her. Everybody loves her. Like she, you know, and to see her starstruck by someone was just like really cute and humanizing.
I know. Well, let's talk about too. I loved Snoop Dogg at the Olympics.
Oh my gosh.
All of the footage of him. He was in the gymnastics events, cheering, sitting with some of the parents of the gymnasts. He was at the equestrian events, dressed in full equestrian gear.
Who knew?
I saw him
keeps reinventing himself.
Swimming with Michael Phelps in a practice pool. Like, I just found it super funny.
And this week in Paris... Simone spotting something. And ants. Anybody have any more fun than Snoop? I don't think so.
Synchronized swimming.
Ready, set, go.
Made it! Mike, you make this look too easy. Oh, God. As you see, I'm in gold medal condition. He's still in gold medal condition.
Oh, I love this badminton right here. This is a great rally right here between China and the U.S. right here. As you see, it don't stop to the casket drop. They rocking and rolling. Me that, I need that too. No, sit down somewhere. Get out. Wait a minute. Hold it way up in the sky. Now down.
Come on, Caleb. Come on, Caleb. Come on, Caleb. You got it, baby. 1,
he really is somebody who has stood the test of time, reinvented himself like year after year.
Yeah.
And I still love to watch him. He's great.
Yeah.
So that was really fun too.
Oh my gosh,
to see
that's
him
really
at
fun.
the Olympics. So I also have on here the women's rugby team specifically, and I may butcher her name, but I think it's Ilona Mar.
Okay.
And she was one of the main faces of the women's rugby team because she just kind of, I guess some people were doubting the U.S. women's rugby abilities. I don't know, but she kind of came back with some clapbacks, some funny TikToks, like a trending sound.
I'm on SNL and you're not.
Was just super outspoken. She has a great personality, kind of no nonsense. Someone also said she was like fat or overweight, which she's like 5'11", super muscular built for her sport.
You have to be really strong.
And she just
to play
like
rugby.
went back at them. And so it was just really fun. She's also really beautiful. She talked about her makeup. She was making fun of herself, like, something about, I'm going to cut carbs this week. And then she's in full front of a table of baguettes and cheese from Paris. Like she was just,
I have seen her. Now that you're describing, I'm like, I have seen one of these ones.
She wears a red lip. She's just like a super great personality. And now she's actually making the rounds on the nighttime shows. I don't know what you call those, like with Seth Meyers and Jimmy Fallon. And
because she has a lower voice, right?
She does.
And I've seen the TikTok where she was talking about people like making fun of her voice. And it's like, listen, this is the way that I talk.
Yes,
this is
she's
the way I was
just
born.
super like,
I'm not trying to be anything that I'm not.
At people.
But it's just like people just want to attack people for the way they sound, the way they look, and that's what's great sometimes about social media is like you get to see people all over the country that grew up different ways, that speak different ways. And like when you are just from one place and you don't ever leave that place, maybe you haven't seen those types of things and maybe they scare you because you've never been around them. But I love the fact that we just get to see behind the scenes people's lives and everything.
Yeah. And we get to become aware of maybe these lesser known sports like women's rugby. I didn't really know that was even a thing in the US, and they did amazing. And these women are incredible athletes, and it just brings some more attention to sports like that and shows people that there is so much out there available to anyone who wants to get involved in a sport. And just a new appreciation for those athletes.
Because they don't always have the opportunity to become professional. That's like not every sport can have like a professional category. So I love that they're able to showcase their skill, showcase their talent, and then use it for whatever they want. Like now they have a huge springboard to step into something else if they want to do that.
Yeah.
Which is so cool. The opportunity that's there for them now, plus, to being two ladies who grew up in the 80s.
Yes.
Like I've always loved the Olympics. Like remember Barcelona in 92 and like what a big deal that was, and watching gymnastics. And these people today, with the way social media is, like they just have so much more opportunity to really turn this into something that they could do for the rest of their lives when they're done playing their sport.
Exactly.
Yeah. I know everybody might be Olympic out, but I just couldn't go. I wanted to talk about this.
I know.
I wanted to talk about this with our people. I just love it. I love the opportunity there is out there for all these athletes. I'm glad I know them and I know their story. And like I said, I've become a super fan of the Woodalls. So I'm going to be definitely following their journey. And maybe I'll get brave enough to ask them to come on this podcast.
Yes, we will. We're going to shoot our shot. We're going to prep.
They're babies though, Meggie. They're like 25. I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys are babies and you're out here killing it. I just love it. Like the legacy they're starting for their like family that they're probably going to have one day. I was like, this is really cool.
It is really
inspiring.
Cool. And I'm glad we talked about it because like, we always say this is what we talk about with our friends. I know. That's why we talk about it on the Cypress Room,
even though we can't get it out as timely as we want, you guys. It's still so I hope you dive back in, and we'll link a bunch of these people in the description box so you can check them out, check out their content because it's still there. You didn't miss out.
And if we miss somebody, I mean, please let us know who we should be following from the Olympics. If there's somebody that you love that we didn't talk about today, because I am sure we missed some. I mean, we didn't even talk about swimming or the diving or any. I know one of my friends really loves the synchronized swimming, and she was sending me stuff about that, but I I just didn't watch all of that. So.
Well, and in 4 years, it's going to be in LA. What if we get to go?
Oh my
We're going to put that out there. Dream big.
Wow. I know. Alex Cooper was at the Paris Olympics.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe we'll
Who knows? Maybe we'll be the next Snoop Dogg.
Dream big.
I mean, you know, they want some perimenopausal women there in their 40s. We need to be out there. We need to be out there.
We do.
Encouraging all these beautiful children out there running their little hearts off and working so hard.
Sweet, sweet people. I love it.
We want to give you mama hugs and mama encouragement.
Really.
Yeah.
Because if you really, we look at them as like this personality, but these are people who have literally worked their whole lives for something, which when you stop and think about it, that is really incredible.
Yeah.
And why, too, I just want them to get everything they deserve, every opportunity. Like, make the most of this spotlight being on you at the Olympics.
Super cool. All right. Olympics out. We love you. Is it time to move on to Sorority Rush?
It is. It is that time of year again.
Okay. So I guess we'll give you like a quick little snippet if you're like from a different country or you didn't go to college or you didn't have sororities at your college. Sororities are clubs that females join. They usually go through a rush period where they come to school maybe a week early, maybe it's the first couple of weeks of school, and they visit all these clubs that have active members, and the members recruit these new members to get like a pledge class for the year. So every year these new freshmen come in. It's just a way to make school smaller, to be involved in your community. They do community service.
Yeah,
they do
philanthropy is a big part of it. They all have a philanthropy that they really contribute a lot of time, energy, and funds to. Is where it originally started.
And they do a lot of things to support the school. Like we'll go to the football games. We'll do, activities around the school, like encourage people to just be involved in their community. And it's a sisterhood is what they call it. So it's just a way to make friends and make the university seem smaller, because universities are huge. Like some of these universities have thousands and thousands of people. And coming from a high school is just like an easy way to get into it. And Meggie and I both did sorority life.
Yeah, it kind of provides a structure in an unstructured place. Like when you go from high school to college, I don't know, for me, I was used to the structure, and then there's so much freedom when you go to college. Sororities, that's another benefit. You have your study hours, you have grades you have
grades
to
you have to keep up, you have rules about how you're allowed to act. And you can be called to standards if you're not abiding by the rules. If you have no idea what a sorority is, that's kind of an overview. It's basically just a club that you have to apply for and get into. Yeah. And it's not for everybody. It's for some people. It's not for everybody. And so what happens now during this season as these girls are coming to school and going through the rush process, now that we have TikTok and social media, they're sharing the process with us.
Yes.
And not only are they sharing the process of going through this rush period, but the people on the other side who are already members of the sorority are sharing their side too, and just getting ready and like, what's today going to look like, and all the different themes and parties they have and things. So that is like all over our feed right now. It started getting fed to me because I probably watched it last year.
Oh yeah, for sure. And the fun thing is I really think this originated with some SEC schools here in the South, specifically Alabama. But this year, what has been so fun is we're seeing sorority life all over the country, all different schools. So we get to see the diversity and how each one of them presents themselves.
I'm pulling up my TikTok. I'm listening to her. If you guys are like watching me like, why is Christine on her phone? Because I have lots of saved TikTok content.
Yes. So before, a lot of the Bama Rush Talk content was choreographed dances, girls looking beautiful, doing these amazing choreographed dances and coordinating costumes. Gorgeous to look at. Kind of astounding that they're able to get a huge group of girls to perform so nicely on camera. And this year, I want to say the game changer and the thing that caught my attention was...
And everybody's talking about it too. It's not just you. You brought it to my attention, but everybody's talking about it.
Was the University of Oklahoma's Kappa Kappa Gamma chapter did a whole series of just funny... viral sound TikToks on what they call their Blue Day. where they all get dressed up in crazy blue costumes, because that's every sorority has their own colors, symbols, and it happens to be light blue and royal blue for Kappa Kappa Gamma. So they're all dressed in these really funny,
they had a lot of avatars.
A lot of avatars. Not cute outfits.
Yeah, not cute.
And they're doing
not polished.
These hilarious like TikToks, and most of them were to, I guess, this song about, it was a rap from the University of Baylor that somebody
from years ago
that
they put up on YouTube, right?
About Kappa Kappa Gamma. And it was hysterical.
And intellectual, these girls are exceptional. In everything we dominate, so Kappa's what I nominate.
And then they did all these Pitch Perfect skits.
Yes, those were funny
really
too.
Ladies, gather around. Ready for a show?
Come on, baby Bubba. Wait
Yeah.
in line. Yep.
You want some of this?
I know you do.
Nice.
Bumper and Donald.
So I love that this year, that was the one that I saw the most was them. But there were other ones too, doing like just funny, silly, like not necessarily polished, perfect looking TikToks.
Because what has made, I think, Alabama Rush so popular is that these girls would get on and do their outfits. They do their OOTD and before they're going to their different rush parties. And some people have gone through and just tallied how much their outfits cost. And a lot of these girls have Hermes bracelets and David Yurman and Cartier. I'm like, it's mostly just their jewelry though, but they're all wearing, like a lot of them have, $500 tennis shoes and things. And so people will go through and total like their whole outfit. And that's kind of where it got a lot of traction. But you're seeing this year, like the pushback from that of like, yes, this is one piece of it at one specific school. And it's even like one specific subset of people rushing.
Yeah.
But like what's happened at Oklahoma this year and how popular it's gotten, I think it shows like it's not, for people who haven't gone through it, it's not really necessarily what you think.
Yeah.
Because you would look at that and be like, oh, it's commercialism and like that's so elitist and this and that. But Oklahoma has been like, actually, it's just like a bunch of college girls just trying to like have fun or blow off steam or be funny. And, it's not all about how you look and what you have. It's really not.
It's for regular people.
It's for regular people. Trust me.
Trust me. Same here. Because that was my experience too. Going through Rush. It was just regular people. And you went to the house where you just had connections with the girls, like, and enjoyed talking with them and wanted to be friends with them.
Well, and the fun thing too is, I don't know, Oklahoma's is already done and they have gotten their bids. I don't know if you saw that, but like their bids were just like on a sheet of paper that they just opened up, and their ROCI or whatever you want to call them, their like rush counselor like just came to their door and handed it to them, and they got to open it with all their friends, and it was just literally a folded piece of paper. I'm like, man, I hope they get a real like fancy bid card when they actually get to the house that they're going to, which they probably do. But so that was cool to see. I was like, oh, this is so way down to earth compared to like watching Alabama all be in that big football stadium and then them running to their houses or whatever. So I was like, this is okay. Like, this is more like what I experienced.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So who are your favorite personalities that are coming on your feed for Bama Rush Talk this year?
Okay. Well, I have a long list, and to be honest, I found a lot. I mean, a lot of people are popping up in my feed, but there is this one lady. I don't know if you know her. Her name is Brandis, and she's a content creator. Okay. So she is a older woman like us. And she loves Bama Rush, so she talks about it all year, but she creates other content. She does, I think, makeup, and I think she's a lawyer too. So she is just hilarious, and she has her own sorority that she's created called Ortho Tri Delta, where she talks about wearing like orthopedic shoes, and she's funny, y'all. So she's
not before bid day. Bama Rush season 4 is coming to a close. Pref day was today. Tomorrow's bid day, and then it's all over. Let's round up some of these pref dresses. Anais Chanel was the first one I saw this morning, and I can't think of a better way to start my day. I know that you have never seen anything like this during Bama Rush, especially on pref day, arguably the most important day of Rush Week. But Anais Chanel ain't scared. She is who she is. The girl has style. She has flair. She dresses out loud, and you know I love that. This has been one of my favorite girls all week. On the subject of favorite girls all week, I'm going to miss these two. They really brought something special to Bama Rush this year. Annalie and Leah, the way they did their OOTDs together and hyped each other up as they were doing their OOTDs. And it was the sissy cat girl energy that the world needs. What about this angel straight from heaven? Annadelle, I hope I'm saying your name right. I don't know how you could have done any better today. This has to be the best version of yourself. If you get any better, you're going to be otherworldly.
So she has been doing a recap every day of different people. And so when she did a recap, I went in and looked up all the people that she said. And I'm like, okay, these are some good finds. And she kind of did my homework for me. Because the people who've been coming across my feed, like the two main people are May and Bree. And they're like the stereotypical like Bama Rush girls, like Lily Pulitzer head to toe, all the things, like perfectly done hair. Like I think they're both pageant girls. That's like your stereotypical Bama Rush girl that you see that I think they're going to feed to you. So you have to kind of like dig deeper to find these like hidden jewels. And so one that I found through Brandis, her name's Anna. And she's just so cute. She got on there and like, I guess it was like her third day that I watched. And she was just like, I just want to say thank you to all the moms who have showed up in my comments that are just encouraging me.
Oh, that's
and
sweet.
Like, it's just making me feel like so confident, like that I got this and I'm going to end up where I'm supposed to be. And I was just like, this sweet girl, I just want to hug her. Like, what a sweet thing to say while you're going through Rush. And a lot of people I've seen say, well, what's wrong with all these like older women that are so obsessed with these young girls going through Rush and stuff? But like when you see some girl like that being like, thank you to all these strangers that encouraged me, I'm like, that's why.
Yeah.
It's like a human connection thing. It's not like a voyeuristic thing. It does feel weird. I mean, I have commented on a few girls' things. And I'm like, this is weird. But at the same time, no, I want to encourage them.
Well,
like
it's
if they're having a hard time.
Heart,
yes.
Because we
I'd be
were
like,
there.
You're enough.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter. Whatever house you end up in, it's going to be great. And if it's not great and you need to quit, it's going to be okay too. Yeah. It's just like, I guess like going back to how I felt at that age, like in my 19, 20 and like just thinking about the world's ahead of you, but you don't know who you are, but you kind of know who you are, but you're kind of scared and like all the emotions that come along with just stepping into womanhood like that. And I just want to like hug him and be like, you're going to be okay. You're putting yourself out there. I'm so proud of you.
Yes, Brandis. Okay.
Yes,
this is who I was watching. I thought we were talking about this. But she was talking about Small Town Tilly.
Small Town Tilly came across my feed without finding her through Brandis. So you tell her story and then I have tons to say on her. On Tilly.
The way she came across my feed is she's going through Rush at Mizzou, so University of Missouri. And her first TikTok that I saw is she went through the first day of Rush and she's like, I just cut my hair before I came to Rush and maybe I shouldn't have. Nobody has short hair.
So wait, it wasn't even the crying one?
No.
Wasn't the first one? Okay, it was the short hair one.
It was the short hair one. And I was like, oh, bless your heart. It was the sweetest thing. And I have seen a couple more. I saw the crying one. But then when I saw Brandis was talking more about her comments, and I hadn't looked in the comments, and it's all these girls who are also going through Rush at Mizzou, like encouraging her, being like, hey, let's meet up. Like, if you want to come find us, like, here's the hall we're staying in. And I thought that was so beautiful to see, like, other girls who are like, yeah, we're the same position. Like, you're amazing. Yeah. Like, just encouraging her. And I thought that was really, really sweet.
Yeah. And her crying one was just like, oh my gosh, I feel like I sat by myself at lunch today. Like I don't live on campus and like everybody came with a friend because they at least have a roommate. And like, I just feel so alone. And like, I feel, I feel unseen, but like putting that out there and just crying and being vulnerable about it. And then seeing the people show up in her comments and say like, like people that are going through Rush, like you can sit with me, find me tomorrow, like DM me. And then Brandis got on here, Mama Brandis, as I call her. She got on there and said, hey, this is what you're going to do. Made a whole like reaction video to Tilly's thing, which Tilly saw and commented on, but was just like, what I want you to do is go find a girl and go up to her and be like, hey, like I'm really lonely. Like you look so friendly. you look so nice. I was like, is it okay if I hang out with you today? And she's like, that girl is you're going to just build her confidence, because that's exactly what these sororities are looking for. And of course she's going to have you come along. So she gave her some really practical advice of like, look, because it's one thing to say like, you're enough, like you can do this, you got this, but to actually then on top of that, give someone practical advice of how like, go up to somebody and say, hey, I need help. Because 9 times out of 10, like they're going to be like, yes, come along. Is there going to be times where a girl's like, no? Yeah. But guess what? Just go to the next one, because literally people are nicer than you think. And I think it's just like a beautiful thing to learn, especially in college.
Yeah.
That's the one that I watched that I was like thinking about, okay, what did I get out of my sorority? And not do I just sit here and be like, one of our closest friends that we still hang out with today, I was in a sorority with her. Like we were in a sorority together. That is how we met. And we are still very, very close today. But I was super shy, like painfully shy. I'm still very introverted. I have to force myself to talk to people. It always feels awkward and uncomfortable. But being in a sorority was the first time that really made me go out of my comfort zone and have to talk to people from like all over my state that grew up differently than me, that talk differently than me, and just putting myself out there. And then going through Rush on the other side, where you have to like recruit new members, having to just talk to someone I've never met before and come up with things and be welcoming and be warm. Like it taught me a lot of things that I have carried on through my life, especially in the business world.
Oh yeah. That's what I was going to say.
And like how we talked about the rules, like it sounds annoying. It sounds like harsh, but it's actually teaching you how to be cognizant of what you're saying and how you're representing when you have these huge letters on your chest. Like everybody knows that you're a KD. And if you're sitting like in your class cussing or you're being rude to your teacher, oh my gosh, did you see that KD doing that? Did you see that KD? So it just gives you that awareness of like, hey, my words matter. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. So like be cognizant of what you're saying and how you're representing yourself and how you're representing your organization. Like those are the 2 major things that I think helped me in business and have just helped me in life in general.
No, I would say the same thing, because one of the things I always go back to is once a week. I think every sorority does it, but we had what's called formal dinner.
Okay, we didn't, because we didn't have a house. Okay. So we didn't eat together. Well, which would have been great, because that's how you get to know people, is by breaking bread together.
I think that it's standard formal dinner when there is a house to have formal dinner once a week. And that's when you also have like your meeting, which there's a name for it. And it's like
we just had formal meeting. So would you have formal dinner with where you had to like dress up and wear your pin and things?
So we had to wear.
You guys are probably like, what are they talking about? Or you're like, yeah.
So we would have to dress business casual. They would assign us at tables like without our fronts. It was random, so we could get to know different girls. But also we had an etiquette coach at every single formal dinner that would go around and coach us on like business dinner like etiquette, which honestly we didn't get that at NTSU. I had never been exposed to, I mean, I knew general table manners, but like for a business dinner to know what the etiquette was priceless to me. They also helped us learn how to interview, which was a big part of Rush that's huge. Too. Like I just think it really set me up for success for like the professional world.
100%.
And also just the fact that whenever you move away out of college, there's always like an alumni organization in every city you go to. So even if you end up not in your hometown right after college for your first job, you have a way to connect and like get involved and find some people based on that connection of your sorority. So I think those are the things that I probably gained from my sorority.
Well, and what people don't realize is like in your meetings, you follow the Robert's Rules of Order, which is like, that is what they use like in the Senate and like for, local government, like school boards. If you're ever going to be involved in something like that in, politics or whatever, or on a board somewhere, you have to know those rules. And it's actually very nice if you've never been under like a point of order in a meeting. It's so people aren't just yelling over each other and everything like that. And you can actually get things done.
Yeah.
Because I think what, the the way things happen now, everybody just yells over each other that I see on social media. So I'm like, oh, some decorum is actually really nice, and some order. Yeah. It's really nice.
This year too, like, do you remember we talked about Bella Grace Gates last year going through it? So this year she popped back up in my feed, probably because I followed her so much last year, but she was also talking about how now during work week, I thought it was very interesting that her sorority had time set aside for every day for content creation.
Yes.
Every day.
Every day.
And one of our questions last year was, how are they monitoring this? Like, what are the rules?
I guess they've just decided to embrace it.
I guess so. And it made me even more curious. Okay, what are the parameters around their content creation like days? They're encouraging their members to create content, to take pictures.
Yeah, with trending sounds. Like, they want to show up in people's feeds because it's all PR. It's all getting them.
So they're kind of embracing it, but I can tell that there's been probably some rules of engagement enforced this year around the kind of content that they're creating, because I feel like we're getting less information. Like, as girls are going through, they're not talking like.
Do you mean on the potential new members? Yes. I totally sensed that as well. They're not talking about like, well, today is when we go talk to da-da-da and blah, blah, blah. And this is what we're going to do. The members are doing that.
Yeah.
Okay, again, more backstory. I'm going to give you so much education in Greek life if you don't know about it. But every school has like a governing body that's called Panhellenic. And so they put all these rules based around rush. Like, you can't talk to potential new members for like this period of time. There's all these rules and regulations. So I can tell, as you've noticed too, that they are, I think, telling these potential new members who are going through recruitment, like, you can't talk about it. You can show us your outfit. You can tell us how many parties you have, but you can't tell us what sororities you're going to. You can't talk about who you talk to. And I think that's kind of backlash off of like Bama Morgan. If I'm being honest, I think Bella Grace talked about it a little bit last year, but I think Bama Morgan was the one who kind of went off the rails, and she ended up getting dropped and didn't make a sorority, but she's back this year.
I know.
So how are we feeling about her?
I mean, I think it's great if she wants to give it another try, if she's really like wanting to be a part of a sorority.
Mm-hmm. She seems to be taking it seriously. Last year, it kind of seemed like a joke, and I think that's why everybody liked her. That's what I was going to say. Because it was like sarcastic and funny, and like she was very into like tracking like how many people were there. And this year, she's like, okay, it's just about like, I'm going through recruitment. Here's where I'm at. Like, thank you guys for your support. And that's kind of all we're getting from her. But I think that's okay. Like, if that it's clearly something she really wants to be involved in. So I hope now that she's been through the process once, she's going into it with, okay, what do I really want? Like, where do I really want to be? Instead of like getting all caught up in people following me and all the things like that. So I wish her the best.
I wish her the best.
But the thing I've also been loving about all these Get Ready With Me, since it seems like maybe they have the new potential new members on lockdown a little bit, they're not chatting with us as much, is that we're seeing more like roommates together and more friends just kind of doing Get Ready With Me and like, oh my gosh, you look so cute. And these are my friend's earrings, and just like really hyping each other up. Yeah, so I love the emergence of like the hype women, like the friends, and a couple of my favorites are Reese and McKenna are really fun. And then Samara and Jayla are some of my favorites too. So you guys should check them out.
Can we?
The only other person that I have on here that we haven't talked about was this girl who caught my eye. Her name's Charity, and she's an Army veteran.
What?
So she's already, I don't know how long she served in the Army, maybe a couple of years, but she's already out. And so now she's at Alabama studying to be a lawyer, and she's going through recruitment.
That's so cool.
That is cool. So
she has a lot to talk about with people.
So like these, I mean, I don't know that much about these girls because again, it doesn't feel like they're allowed to share a lot of stuff, but I still am going to follow them and see if they end up in a house and see where they end up.
Yeah.
That is like that's a weird thing that's really fun for me, is just watching these girls get their bid and open it up and see what sorority they're going to. I know nothing about these girls, but to see them get excited and cheer and then be wearing their letters and their hat and stuff, I'm like, oh, it just like takes me back to that time. Was it all roses and super fun and rainbows? No, but it was like, oh, the innocence, and just like they have their whole life ahead of them, and they are going to meet some people that are going to be in their life probably forever. I have a handful of girls that are still in my life from my sorority. So I think it's fun.
It is fun.
We love it. We had to get another Bama Rush in. I didn't think we would do another Bama Rush.
I didn't think so either,
but you know what? Somebody asked for it.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I just sent her a DM this morning that somebody had sent on our Cypress Room page asking if we were going to do another Bama Rush.
She said she was invested.
Well, we're just giving the people what they want then.
But if we missed anything, if we've missed any sorority recruitment content, if there's anybody out there that we need to check out, please leave them in the comments, because we will gladly go back and find out where they rushed and bid and all the things. We should do a dictionary next year where we put up bid, the sorority that asked you to come there. It's like a whole nother language now that we're sitting here talking about it.
It is.
All right. So we're going to round out with some of our content that we've been binging.
That's non-Olympics.
Non-Olympics, non-rush.
Okay. Well, you put on here your TikTok Hermes resellers.
Oh my gosh.
Love
you guys,
luxury.
I'm obsessed. Love luxury.
It's fascinating.
They have 2 locations in the UK and 1 in Dubai. They have 2 saleswomen that are on there that basically women come in, they sell their brand new Hermes bags, and then they resell them. So you're seeing people come in and trying to get an offer on their bag. And you're also seeing people come in and buying these bags from them, because this is a whole nother thing that you might not even know this side of TikTok. And you might not know this side of the world, because the normal people, I say the normal people, the majority of people in this world will never even walk into a Hermes. Am I even saying it right?
Yes.
Hermes.
I think so.
Hermes. So they have these exclusive bags that are called Birkins, and Kelly's are the most sought after bags. And you can't just, no matter amount of money you have, you can't walk into one of their stores and say, I would like to purchase a bag today. You have to create a relationship with the sales associate. You have to buy scarves and clothing and shoes and whatever. And maybe one day, when you make an appointment to meet with your sales associate, you will be offered the opportunity to buy a Birkin or a Kelly, which granted costs $20,000
I was going to say
up.
The cheapest is like
So
10,
why there is a market to resell is because there's only a certain amount of people that are ever going to be offered these bags. And so then they can take them, sell them to this reseller. And an average person, I say an average person, I'm sure they have to vet their people that come into their store, but you don't have to have a sales history with Hermes to be able to get one of their bags. So I'm obsessed with watching these. I know about Kelly's and Birkins. I know all the different sizes. I know there is an Epsom leather. I know that there's a Togo leather. I know that there are exotics. I know the different colors. You can either have palladium or gold hardware. And I'm like, why do I care? But it's so fascinating. And my favorite thing is that these women are just a masterclass in service and sales and how to make people feel special.
Yes.
Like they are not condescending. They are just like complimenting without being like sugary and, brown nosing. They're so elegant. They know these bags up and down. I have binged so much of this content, and now I'm like, oh, she needs a Kelly. She needs a Kelly with the palladium, and I like the gold color the best, and that's one of the classic colors. Like I have so much knowledge about Hermes bags now. It's really fascinating.
It is,
and I will never own one. I have no desire to own one. I'm not going to pay $20,000, $30,000 for a bag, but it blows my mind that people buy these brand new bags, never use them. They're like investment. They keep them in the box and they bring them in because you can obviously sell them for a lot more if you've never worn them. So these people have these brand new bags that they have got that they just sell to them.
Yeah. Well, they really do look at them as an investment pieces because they increase in value. Yeah.
It's so wild. Really and then to see these people come in being like, well, I'm looking for a green one because I have this red carpet event I'm going to, or I have this thing. And I'm just like, who are these people that are coming in to this store? I mean, like my budget is $25,000 for a bag. They also have watches too. Yeah. And so sometimes the men come in and like look at the watches. I'm like, I don't care. I could care less about looking at these watches. But the bags and how I know all the leathers and all. And she's like, they actually can't even open them. She's like, oh, well, I can't open it for you, but I can show you a pre-loved one so you can see the size in it. And whenever they try them on, they put on gloves. It's just like, you'll be hooked. So go check them out.
So
love luxury.
I have been obsessed with Katie Van Slyke and
Who's
her
local?
content. She is local. She lives near us here in Nolensville, and
we're trying to pitch her to be on
we
the
are.
podcast.
Come on our show, Katie. She has a farm. She breeds quarter horses, show horses, but she also has a farm full of mini animals.
Oh, cute.
So she has mini cows, mini goats, mini donkeys.
I love mini goats and mini donkeys.
And so the thing of hers that went viral was actually featured on some news channels is she was documenting her donkey romance. She was trying to breed one of her mini donkey girls. And so she brought in her friend's boy donkey, and she was documenting these two donkeys and like falling in love with each other and dating and courting.
Is sweet. Are donkeys like geese and they mate for life?
No. No, they aren't.
They will just mate with whoever's in their vicinity.
It was so funny because she is just a really funny person, I think.
Yeah.
And the things she says and when she's recording them.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so donkey romance update. There is an update and it's dramatic. Okay, so Glenn here, you can see he is not paying attention to Blanche. Now, we saw Glenn definitely giving attention to Blanche not too long ago, and we're hoping a pregnancy comes from it. But what I have noticed is he is very much in love with Dorothy since yesterday. She's coming into heat, and so she goes and puts her little booty. Oh, Blanche, you don't want to share your man. He goes over there and professes his love to her very loudly. She puts her butt to the fence. He rolls for her. He does all the things, and Blanche is not happy about it.
I love to hear the story about how all this happened.
Yeah.
So I hope she comes on.
She also has Nigerian dwarf goats that all just had babies. So she was documenting like their pregnancies, and then all the baby goats were born. And so now she like documents these little baby goats. They're so cute. And she's just a really fun personality.
Okay.
And I, of course, love animal content.
You love animal
we've
content,
talked
yes.
about before. And so I've just had fun watching those. And she has a donkey that's about to give birth to a baby like any day. And so everybody's coming back to see if her donkey's had her baby yet. So
okay, nice.
And it's more fun too because she lives like close to us. So when she's talking about the area or even the vet that she goes to, like I know where they're
she's
at
talking about.
and I know
Okay,
what
that's
she's
cool.
talking about. So
fun.
it's kind of fun.
I love it.
So hopefully she'll be able to come on our show one day. I'm
Okay,
trying.
That would be fun. Okay, my last one. Have you seen the cucumber salad guy?
I have.
Okay.
I didn't realize it was this popular though.
Yeah, you know what's crazy is that I think so again, I've done a deep dive. So his name is Logan. It's Logan's Feud I think that's on TikTok. So on TikTok, he has 4.7 million followers. On Instagram, he has 1.1 million followers. And on YouTube, he has close to 1 million followers. And so it seems like lately he's blown up because he takes a whole cucumber. What's that thing called? Mandolin?
Mm-hmm.
Mandolin, which I've seen somebody chop their top of their finger off with those doing his cucumber salad. So please be careful if you're going to do any of these. But he will take a whole cucumber and he will slice it with the mandolin, and then he will put like toppings in there. Like I've seen him make a California roll one. I've seen him do like a Thai inspired one. I've seen him do a Chipotle one, but they all look so good.
It sounds so good.
It sounds so good.
You know
so
how much I
been
love
craving.
cucumber
I know.
salad. Me kitchen.
Yeah, he
Cucumber
has
salad.
one that's like that with like the sesame
good.
oil. And they're very simple, and you just put them in a thing and you shake them up. I'm like, it looks like I could eat this every day. So I haven't made one yet, but I definitely have it on my radar that I want to make one. So he's blown up with these cucumber salads, and now I'm getting fed content of people making his cucumber salads and talking about them. But so as I went to do my deep dive about him, like I saw somebody comment like, oh, it's funny, like you are an amazing chef and people know you as the cucumber guy. So I guess he's been doing food content for a long time, and all his long form content on YouTube is like what I ate in a day, or like going to Korea or something like that and sampling all the foods and talking about them. So I guess he might have a culinary background. Wow. Yeah. So I'm interested to like look more into him because they're like, yeah, this is the thing that you blow up for, and you can cook like amazing things. So it's just funny how just like
let's get him on the podcast.
I mean, I've seen Alex Earl do one of his things.
Really?
So like all these people are having his cucumber salads. It's like the thing that he's just been consistently making content, and I think has already been really successful at it. But this is the thing that just like has gone viral, so that people like me have discovered him now. And what's so interesting, and I think this is a piece of why they're so popular, is he puts MSG in almost every single one of them.
Really?
And you know how people are like, we were heard for the longest time that MSG is like bad, and like every like Chinese or like Asian restaurant you see says like no MSG. I think it's like a thing where, you know, people said like eggs had cholesterol and don't eat them. I think it's one of those things. So this might be MSG's comeback. Because I need to do more research on it, but all the research I've done is like, oh, that's like total propaganda that someone tried to get MSG out of like the American diet, but it's really not bad for you. I'm like, interesting. Now I got to deep dive in that.
I know.
Conspiracy
You've got a lot of things to deep dive.
Oh, I love deep diving. It's so fun.
Well, I don't have it on here, but you mentioned food content, so I have to mention my favorite food creator is Meredith from Wishbone Kitchen, which I don't know if you have seen her. She just launched her cookbook this week, but she became famous on TikTok 2 years ago when she would document her day in the life as a personal chef in the Hamptons. She was a personal chef for a famous fashion designer, and she would document her days, and she just like blew up. And
is she the long blonde?
Yes, she's
I know who you're talking about. Yeah. Okay, yes. I didn't know her name, but I know who you're talking about.
Is a really likable person. She makes really approachable food that
and her stuff looks good.
Beautiful.
And she always like eats at the end and goes, cheers, right? Okay, yes. I know who you're talking about.
And I mean, she has gotten partnerships with Tory Burch,
bet.
Dior, like all of these really like high-end luxury brands on the lifestyle side.
You have talked to me about her for a long time, and I didn't realize. I just started watching her content probably sometime this year because it got fed to me.
Yeah.
Because she's so popular.
And now she's been on lots of TV shows now, and she just, like I said, her cookbook pre-orders launched this week. So
well, and she shoots the way she shoots her food. She does a really good job.
She does.
I have a friend. Her name's Lindsay. I'm not gonna be able to think of her name out of the top of my head, but we'll put her handle here. She used to flip furniture, and she got really sick and got long COVID. And for like, they had to stop doing furniture, and she was very successful at furniture. She had her own signature color with like a furniture paint line, but she just popped up in my feed the other day. She's doing like healthy cooking because it took her on this whole journey where she was really sick. She figured out how to do like substituting foods, like taking out the sugar and the processed stuff. And she does food content like that. And she's like, did you know if you take this and this and this, you have like, you know, these natural peppermint patties. And she is like, I think she's been featured on Good Morning America. One of her clips has been featured on there, and she has almost 1 million followers now.
Wow.
When she was like a very successful furniture painter and had like a big following over there, but she's created a whole new thing. And me and Katie Scott saw it at Haven. I'm like, I just saw that the other day, and I messaged her. I'm like, holy crap, Lindsay, look at what you've built. So I thought that was amazing too. She would be a good person to have on the podcast and talk about like switching because people say like, oh, you can't do that.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
You know, have you noticed though, with the rise in all these food creators, it's changing our habits too. I was noticing the other day, I used to always go to Pinterest to look up recipes, and now I search them in TikTok and Instagram.
That's probably the only thing I search on TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
Because I have a hard time.
Yes,
I have a hard time like if I want to learn how. With the stuff that I'm doing, it's mostly like DIY or using a tool. Like I usually will go to YouTube or Google to do that. But with recipes, I am finding myself just putting that in more because I want to see it made and I want to see it in that quick thing. And then I would go find like the recipe or whatever. But but that's the only thing I'm searching. We were just talking about this before we turned on the thing. I was like, I don't know how to search Instagram for the content that I want. It doesn't feed me what I want. But maybe it's because I haven't taken the time to sit down and actually do it. Yeah, I'm still old school and I'd Google.
Food stuff I do. I will search TikTok for like a recipe.
Do you search TikTok and Instagram for fashion?
Yes.
Okay.
That's another thing.
So what do you type in when you're searching?
I usually type in like my size, like size 8 fashion or over 40 fashion, or I'll type, if I want to see like a specific piece on somebody, I will type like the name of the piece, like the Venice jogger from Athleta, and then it'll show me all these creators who are trying it on.
Are they having it like in the description somewhere then? So that's where it's searching. Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
See, I'm a bad content creator. I hate that's like I get to the end, I'm like, I don't even want to write anything in this caption.
Yeah. I know. Captions,
Oh,
it's like, are they important? Are they not?
But
like,
from what you're telling me, they are.
They are. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
The captions and what you're saying, like in the voice.
Yeah. See, I know in the voice. Yeah. But I get lazy to the point where when I'm doing the caption that I'm like, oh, it doesn't matter at this point. But yes, it is searching what you're saying too. But sometimes it doesn't know what you're saying. You might say it right, especially if you're saying like a product.
Yeah.
It might think you're saying something different. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Well, this was fun.
I know. I know. Just like chatting about our favorite content that we consume. And I love to consume it.
Yeah. And why it blows up and all the things. Yeah. It's fun.
I know. I think the theme is I just love a good story. I love a happy ending. I love seeing all the good in humanity.
Yeah. And you love animals.
And I do.
Clearly,
love animals.
I love food and I guess high fashion. I like experiencing high fashion, but it has nothing to do with me. But that's fine too. It's like I do love subcultures like that.
Yes.
I love discovering little like cultures that have their whole own language and things that you know nothing about. And now I know about Togo and Epsom.
I know.
And Palladium.
Well, this was fun, and hopefully we can get it out in time for you all to enjoy it and go find these creators.
And it's not too late to talk about the Olympics, guys. We can still talk about it. And go out, find these creators, support them, and let us know who you're loving, because we're always up for finding new people. Yeah.
Okay. We're doing
We haven't done favorite things in forever. We have to do favorite things. We have to bring it back. We've been doing so many interviews, and we were like, as we were doing our interviews at Haven, I feel like we were just like deer in the headlights, like so much information that we were so exhausted by the time we're like, okay, we're not doing favorite things, but we have to get back on track because I have something to share today.
And what is it?
That is life-changing. Okay. Do you use the wet brush?
No,
okay,
I don't use a brush on my hair.
Do you use a comb?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I can't use a comb because is your hair not tangly?
No.
Okay. My hair is a tangly mess. I have a lot of hair, but it's very thin. And like when I wear a hoodie, like I will get a rat's nest on the back of my head. My hair is super tangly, especially after I get out of the shower and wash it. And so I have always used a wet brush. And when I found the wet brush, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is life changing, whatever. But my hairdresser the past 2 times have been using this crazy looking brush. It's called the Unbrush. And it's like so light and it's got these spikes sticking out of it and it looks so weird. But the last 2 times I'm like, you're not tugging on my head at all. And she's like, this is the Unbrush. And so I finally got, my daughter lost her brush. So I got her Unbrush and she's like, Mom, this is amazing. I was like, okay, well now I have to get myself one. So I got myself the Unbrush. It's like $14 to $18. It's expensive, but it does not snarl my head at all. And it gets all the tangles out and it doesn't like rip my hair or break it. So life-changing. Any of my tangly hair girlies out there, or if you have a child that like screams at you every time you brush their hair.
I know. I was going to say I need to get one for my daughter.
And it looks like it's going to break when you use it. It's it's so wild. Y'all just got to get one and try it. Because I was like, this seems really flimsy for like paying $14 for this thing. But also, I guess you can use it to dry your hair too. I don't because I have a Dyson Airwrap now, so I don't use a traditional brush and a hairdryer to blow out my hair. But it says it dries your hair like 40% faster because of how vented it is. And so I guess it's made to not melt either. But I'm telling you, if you pick one up, you're going to be like, this is flimsy and cheap, Christina, but it's life-changing. So the Unbrushed. That was my favorite thing.
My favorite thing that I ordered recently is from Amazon, and it is actually a MagSafe suction cup for the back of my phone. So I take my pop socket off, which this is a really strong magnet.
Am I going to have to pull here?
I don't think I can do it
You
with
can't
one
get it off?
hand.
What if I...
It is a MagSafe suction cup for my phone. So it sticks to the back of my phone like so. And now I can stick it to a window.
Oh gosh.
I can stick it to my mirror.
I don't think I trust the suction.
This is the 3rd one I've tried, and this one is super, super strong suction.
Okay.
We both have like the heavier iPhone 15 Pro Max, and the first 2 I tried were not strong enough to hold my phone up.
It's a heavy phone.
This one is super strong. The magnet is very strong. And yeah.
Okay.
And so I can stick it up on my mirror to
I need to try this because all my ones where I'm filming in a mirror like this.
I can stick it up on a window to take a picture or...
Oh, that's nice.
And so all the young kids, yes, use these suction cups, but
right.
I got it mainly for like the bathroom for filming.
Okay,
like,
I'm going to buy one of these.
Get ready with me's. And then also...
I'll be waiting for the
Grace
link in the description
and I have
box.
been doing TikTok dances and I can stick it to the window.
Fun. Do you just save them in drafts?
Yeah.
Aww,
I don't ever post them.
That's fun. I like that.
So yeah, that's my favorite. And it took me 3 times to find one that had a strong enough magnet and a strong enough suction to hold up.
Okay, perfect.
My phone.
I love it.
Then I just keep it in my purse and...
Well, that is great. I'm going to be buying that. Favorite things are back. I'm excited. Okay, and we'll be linking all of that in the description box. It's in our Amazon storefront. Very easy way to support Cypress Room and help us out.
Yeah, another way to support us that costs you nothing is to subscribe to our channel, like the video, comment, head over to our Instagram and Facebook pages and follow us there. Those are all great ways to support this channel and at no cost to you.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, for real this time, we'll be back with another podcast soon, and we'll see you next time in the Cypress Room.